Hey guys, it's Jovi and welcome back to my channel. Hope everyone is doing amazing today. Before we begin, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and follow me on my other social media platforms. I'm Jovi Beauty. I'm Jovi Beauty on all platforms. Please follow, please subscribe. Don't forget to go over to my lifestyle page, Lifestyle by Jovi, and subscribe over there as well. Okay. Listen, it's so much things happening that has been happening over the weekend that happened today, and I want to get into it. Okay. Let's start with the whole Nicki Minaj and Don Lemon saga that is unfolding. Okay. I just finished my hair because I had to wash and do all of this stuff today because I have an event to attend tomorrow. And I get on my phone and I saw that Don Lemon made a video in response to something Nicki Minaj said. Now, again, I was busy all morning, so I didn't see it at first. So apparently, Nicki Minaj. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. Don Lemon is out in Minnesota. Okay. Hello, good evening, everyone. Don Lemon is out in Minnesota doing what he does because he's a reporter at the end of the day, right? He's a reporter and reporters report on what's happening, right? Like we're doing now. So he, I guess, found out that they had an organization that was going to go into the church and into a church and protest because I guess the pastor or one of the deacons or something like that is an ICE agent. So they went up in a church. Don Lemon was there. He recorded. He did not get in the way. He was not protesting. He was not doing nothing. He was just, you know, doing his job, reporting on what's happening. He spoke with the pastor of the church. He spoke with the lady who was organizing the walk-in, I guess. So that happened, right? So then that happened. So I guess Nicki Minaj found herself up on I guess it was the Twitter, talking about Don Lemon needs to sit his bleep, homosexual slur ass up. She said that. And then she said he should be arrested. I guess he should be arrested for doing his job, right? Okay, cool. So she did that. She's saying he should be arrested. He's a, sexual explicit language. So Don Lemon came back out, and like I said, I saw his comment before I went and saw what Nicki Minaj said. Okay, he came and he was just like, I really don't get into this sort of, he don't like to tussle. He just do his job. He's like, I don't get into this sort of tussle. But Nicki Minaj, aren't you an immigrant? He basically said, aren't you an immigrant? You're not even Black American. You don't rock with us. You should get deported. That's what he said. And then he called out that her husband is a essayer and her brother is a essayer and pedo. He loves the children, and basically told her that she needs to shut the F up, and she's not smart enough to even comprehend what is going on. So just sit down, aka, and keep fucking around. Your ass gonna get deported. I thought that was hysterical. Shout out to Don Lemon. I watched Don Lemon. I really enjoy him. I watched him for New Year's. I brought my New Year's in with Don Lemon. I mess with him. I'm actually a part of his membership, if you believe it or not. I'm a part of Don Lemon's membership. I think he is doing amazing. I think all of the corporate news people, who are on social media now, who are on the YouTube now, I think they've been doing a great job. They are not restricted by what their bosses want them to say or not say, what their bosses want them to do or not do. We are really able to see them get back to being real and saying what everyone else is thinking. You know, for a long time, we've been watching a lot of these people, and they have only been allowed to parrot the bullshit, right? So shout out to Don Lemon for standing on business and telling Nicki Minaj to go deport herself. And calling out that her husband and her brother are essayers. Okay, shout out to Don Lemon for that. That within itself is bomb, is amazing, because in my opinion, you know, we talk about these things, but everybody doesn't necessarily watch, you know, quote unquote urban news, right? Everybody doesn't necessarily watch that, but a lot of people watch Don Lemon. I think he is well over 1 million subscribers, and it needs to be said on a larger platform, so people would really understand and get the drift. And for the masses, especially the people who are suddenly fans of Nicki Minaj because she's a Magite, to really know who they're fans of, okay? Because we get it. They don't care that Orangina is on those files. They never care that Orangina is on those files, but they damn sure care that her black immigrant ass, okay, okay, is married to a pedo and her brother is a pedo. She's fucking surrounded by them. Okay, so shout out to Don Lemon for just putting the crossing his T's and dotting his I's and exposing her stupid ass for who she is. Okay, shout out for that. Absolutely. Um someone, if you're a mod, jump in the I need someone in the vertical and I need somebody in a horizontal chat. Thank you very much. Okay. So that happened. And I thought that shit was hysterical. Now let's move on to what's been happening in Minnesota. It's been crazy. It's still crazy. I saw someone say, thank you so much, girl. Get rid of them. I saw someone else say that who knew that Minnesota would be where the revolution started? Who fucking knew? I guess someone knew, because they're out here turning up. They're out here turning up, and they're still peacefully protesting for the most part. You know, they have the little icicles running around like, you know, chickens with their head cut off. Orangina, I told y'all last week he was threatening to enact the Insurrection Act, right? But I saw someone say it today. I forgot who it was, but I'm going to repeat it. You know, wasn't my initial thought. It was somebody else's, you know, but again, we kind of all know this. I don't remember who said it, but nonetheless, it was, he stepped back on saying he was going to enact the Insurrection Act, right? Because somebody in his cabinet is like, you can't do it yet. We already know that this is the goals. This is what they've been wanting to do. If we were outside, right? We're inside minding our business, washing our hair, getting ready for events, okay? We're minding our business. But if we were outside, they would enact it. Absolutely. People would have been shot in the street months ago. It wouldn't have took for last week for this to initially happen. It would have happened a long time ago. But since we're not outside and it's really just a lot of the Caucasians out there protesting and doing whatever, someone in the cabinet had enough sense to be like, you cannot send them in to just start, you know, unaliving people in the freaking streets, because these are white people. At the end of the day, these are white people, and you just can't be, you know, you just can't be killing all these white people. You know, it was one thing to say they killed the lady, but, you know, the lady was gay, so I guess she's not, they don't care about her because she has a wife, I guess. You know, I don't know. I'm not in their minds. I don't know how it works. So he is not started the Insurrection Act. And again, he probably won't for a very long time, at least until somebody else goes out there that can be a target. And again, we're minding our business and we're doing our hair. Okay. All right. Child, why did I just see? Now again, I've been doing my hair all day. I didn't see this yesterday. Why are they talking about they're about to drop like 10,000? My mind, I'm saying 10, but I feel like I heard 15,000. It might 10, 15. I might be wrong. It might be 15 because I feel like that's the number. I feel like that's the number coming to my head, but I feel like just saying 10,000 just to be safe. But they're about to drop a couple thousand fucking paratroopers, Army paratroopers. You know, the people who fly in on with the with, you know, motherfuckers who jump out off the planes. I forgot, parachutes. That's what I meant to say. Motherfuckers who fly in with the parachutes. You know, this is what they normally do in other countries. You know, they fly in with their guns ready, cocked and ready to fight. They are apparently going to drop 10 to 15,000 fucking paratroopers on the Minneapolis fucking streets. On top of, I guess I heard, maybe I'm wrong, but because, you know, it's just ridiculous over there. On top of the 5,000 ICE agents they have that are allegedly supposed to be damn near border patrol. Okay, because these people are supposed to be fucking border patrol, but they're nowhere near the fucking border. They're all the way up there in Minneapolis messing with them. Nonetheless, they're about to drop 10 to 15,000 paratroopers in their fucking city. Then I saw a video, shout out to Midas Touch as well. I'll follow Midas Touch, of they have, you know how they love to say like the liberals or Antifa. Antifa, you know, and the fake, you know how they were saying the lady who was crying when she witnessed Renee Good getting plopped in the face, you know, the lady who was crying because, you know, we're human, that she was a paid agitator. Remember that? There is a video on Midas Touch right now. He dropped it less than an hour ago because that was the end for me. I was wrapping my hair up. You know, I just put and I was like, wait a minute. There is a video on Midas Touch right now. If I was on my desktop, sorry, I'm not on my desktop right now. It's Regents Week. So people are home. That's all I'm gonna say. It's Regents Week. People are home. So I'm doing this in the bedroom today. They as in ICE have hired agitators to be in the protests to try to start shit. There is a video on Midas Touch right now where they're calling out this guy. Again, I didn't really see why they were called. Maybe the video started right after he did some shit. They were like, what you doing? And somebody else was like, nah, he's with us. He been with us. They pushing him, you know, they like, what the fuck? Then you see the ICE car pull up. The icicles pulled up and rescued him in the middle of the agitation because he was about to get exposed. Don't even argue with them, sissy. You're not talking to people with any sort of comments. Time them out. The icicles came up knowing him. He was like, good guys, y'all here. And pulled them in the truck with them because he was about to get his ass whipped in the motherfucking streets because they were like, you look like you are a paid agitator. So apparently the liberal-ish people aren't sending in agitators, but the icicles and Orangina are. I found that so interesting. And I wanted to talk about it because what happened, Sway? I thought you were so, and you want to know, let me say this. in the Don Lemon, I'm going back and forth. In the Don Lemon video, when that said group went into the church and were protesting in the church, you know, when people were leaving, they looked so upset, right? Like, oh, you're messing, you know, it's affecting us, it's affecting our day. And I think that kind of is supposed to be the point, right? Because you want to be in your own little bubble and not understand what is happening in the streets. It's not personally affecting you. And I just thought it was funny because Don he tilted the camera and he showed a family, you know, it was a couple families walking out, but he made a comment on, because this guy was like holding his son or whatever, you know, comforting his son. And I'm like, people were literally shot in the face a week ago. The city is in turmoil. And I guess it has not affected you because you're so distraught that you have to deal with counter protesters coming in and saying, we're not okay with your assistant. I don't think it was the head pastor, because he interviewed the head pastor, with your assistant pastor being an ICE agent. We're not okay with that. And it's just so funny because it's like, it don't affect you on a day-to-day basis. You don't give a fuck. So now they're making it affect you. And you're so fucking in distraught. You have to, you know, your kids are so, you know, are so, you know, don't do this because the kids are so affected by it. Like there aren't kids literally being kidnapped in the middle of the fucking street that we'll never hear from again. Like they have not snatched up parents and left children, minors, teenagers, preteens, elementary school age kids in the streets by themselves with their parents gone, possibly never to be seen again. But your kid is so freaking distraught because there was a protest in the church and people are coming to call out the hypocrisy. Sway, come on. I just found that so ridiculous. I found that extremely freaking ridiculous. Like, stand on business. You have unleashed people who are literally supposed to be at the fucking border for real, you know, en masse on our country. And you're bothered that the protests made it to the front door of your church. Amazing. It's amazing. All right, I'm gonna look at some of these comments, see what everybody is saying. Intended Beauty said, correct, Jovi. I watched On Visit to Minneapolis yesterday. Yeah, I watched a little bit. I watched the church thing. I was like, oh my gosh. You know, I'm like, oh, yep. I'm like, we're out here. People are reporting. Everybody else. That's the thing. Everyone all over the planet is reporting on what's happening. Just because you don't see it, because, you know, our media is controlled by certain people who don't want you to see, you know, they even bought TikTok, so it's hard. Everyone across the world is talking about this, is looking down on us. The UN are turning up. Europe is ready to pop us in the bottom lip. And you are worried about your pastor getting called out for being a part of the Gestapo. Europe is about to punch us in the bottom lip with every other planet, with every other country on earth. They're about to pop us real bad. And you're worried about your pastor getting called. Where is your thick skin? Because y'all's sons are the one who are going to go fight that war, not us. Remember, they told y'all they don't want people who look like me in the military. So you're going to fight, and your sons, who you are trying to shield from the fuck shit you have created, are going to be the ones to die in said war. I follow this girl. Let me get some juice. Hold on. Wait, let me grab my cup. I follow this girl. I forgot her name right now. She does a lot of women focused content. Shauna, I think it's something like that. She does a lot of women focused content. She's a reporter. She's like a wine and food reporter. She lives internationally. Black girl, but she's from America. I watched a video of hers yesterday where apparently, because of all of this foolishness happening, you know, she was talking about the provider and protector aspect of all of this, right? People, this lady, just because she so happened to have a wife, right? She's still some white lady who was leaving her home, driving out of her driveway, and end up getting shot by ICE agents. And the white, I guess she be digging all up in the business because she's a actual reporter or whatever. And she's like, it's a lot of these, even Trumper ladies, white ladies, who were asking her, well, what are we going to do? Because again, it's getting real. You know, you can sit here and pretend like it's not getting real. It's getting real. You know, they're outside. A white lady just got shot. If anything is going to, you know, make the white women go like, wait a minute, it's one of them getting shot, which I said a week and change ago when it initially happened, like, what's up? Why does everyone else care more about this lady of your own culture? That's the point. That was the point of all of this stuff, right? To protect y'all women, right? But I guess from everybody but y'all. I don't know. Anyway, and she was saying that a lot of them are out here talking about, you know, what are we going to do? What's the plan? What's the this? What's the that? And the husbands are saying, oh, it's not a big deal. Oh, it don't affect us. I guess like a lot of people in the chat that I got y'all timing out. You know, it's not a big deal. You know, nothing's going to happen. Oh. But the reality is they're not even preparing for the sake of it happening, right? Leaving. And it's like, the point is, I guess, especially in that culture, you know, in most cultures, but especially in that culture, is like, you know, these are the protectors and the providers, and they're not protecting you from what is occurring and what is about to occur. There is absolutely no protection. And I guess there is no protection when it comes to being protected from other white men pulling guns on you. Like extremely cowardly. And she was talking about how this is going to affect those relationships moving forward, you know, and like those marriages, because, you know, they put their lives on the line to be your wives. You know, they put their lives, they put their safety, they already put their womb on the lines, you know, all of this. And now shit is hitting the fan, and a lot of their men can't see beyond their nose and don't see what is occurring and how it is dangerous for them and their family and their wives and their children as well. It's fucking crazy. Hello, everyone. She's said Nicki is out of her league. He did. I heard Ludacris. I did hear that Ludacris performed at a MAGA event. I did. I heard it. I read it and I swooped past it. I don't go to Ludacris events. Do you? I know if you did go to Ludacris events, I know you don't go to them no more, right? That's all we have to do, because at the end of the day, like argue for what? They're gonna Chrisette Michelle these hoes. Argue for what? Because just like Nicki Minaj, just like, you can be on that side for as long as they'll accept you, but they're only going to accept you for but for so long. I was having a conversation with my daughter the other day about Cenat. We all know who. Well, depending on the age of the person who's watching this video, you might or you might not know who Kai is. He has been starting to read and stuff on his channel, and we were going, but she was like, well, I don't understand and this is my perspective. Again, I don't know Kai. I ain't sent him a message. I ain't even watched the video, so I don't know. But the way I saw it, and I'm seeing it, is Kai is in those lanes of the Aiden Rosses and all of those, right? Last year, a little over a year ago, when we wanted VP Harris to be on his show, he didn't want to be political, but everybody else around him was political, right? And it gets to a point where you could play fun and games, but for so long. And I'm just like, well, he's trying to transition into something. Into what? I don't know. He looked like he going through something. Him and the girl broke up. I don't know. But he's trying to transition. And now he's reading books on his channel. And he's getting a lot of slack for it by people who do not look like him. Right? Because at the end of the day, they're going to fuck with you, but for so long. And the reality of, regardless of how many fans you have right now, how many Mr. Beast, sort of vibe sign kind of videos you want to create right now, like, you're not going to be able to continue that foolishness. Even the sellouts, people who sold out, that is only for a time. Because people will only use you as long as you are valuable to them for them to use you. We watched it in Candace Owens. We watched Candace Owens try to come back over here, and we said, nah, get somebody else to do it. And now she talking about CK had superpowers and could see the future. We watched them try to go to the events and not be allowed inside. You are only good for what you are good for when they need you. After that, go kick rocks. And I'm thinking maybe the reality of that, I don't know. I'm not in his space. I don't know Kai personally, but I was telling my kid that I think that the reality of these things and trying to play neutral and trying to play both sides at the end of the day will be detrimental to you. And I think maybe Kai is trying to comprehend that and trying to move past it. Plus, we also know, and I told her, as a creator, we have to grow. We can't be on some shit all the time. You can't be a rapper like Nicki Minaj and trying to be a fucking Barbie doll forever. That might have been cool and all right and cute to some people in your 20s and maybe your 30s, but you're going into 40s and 50s, and what the fuck you gonna be an old Barbie doll? Like, make it make sense. Like, it's only gonna work, especially with your audience, if your audience stays as blind as young-minded as you're trying to continue to play. That's why a lot of the barbs who have something wrong with them still fucking with her, and the people who are barbs who grew up and have now responsibilities or whatever, and like real life is real life, don't. So it's the same thing. And I'm thinking, Kai, I'm like, it's a lot of content about a whole bunch of nothing. And this little black man, I was going to say little black boy, but he's a grown ass man, on there reading a book whether it's fake, whether it's not fake, whether it's whatever. That's the point. He is an influencer. Maybe he need to influence some of these men, regardless of whatever race they are, to go and pick up a book and start learning how to read again. Because the critical thinking skills is in the trash, especially for the male population. It's in the fucking trash. And the first step of getting them out is getting them to open up a fucking book and not telling them what they know because they heard it from a fucking podcaster. Maybe the podcaster needs to influence them to read for themselves. So I'm not mad at Kai. I'm not mad at Kai. I'm not mad for him trying to figure out, pulling up the dictionary and trying to, you know, figure out how to pronounce words, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Who mad at him for that? Not me. Let's get these likes up, y'all. Please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on my other social media platforms. I'm Jovi on all platforms. Please follow. Please subscribe, okay? She said the 6-month-old baby being pepper sprayed broke my heart. Yeah, it did. It did. It did. Like the reality, when people show you who they are, believe it. And we know it, we believe it, we understand. We know it, we believe it, we get it. We know it, we believe it. Like I said, we get it. Hello, everybody. Someone said they don't know if they can watch the Midas Touch Network on anymore because he constantly had Michael Cohen on there. I don't know if Michael Cohen has turned MAGA again. Who knows? Michael Cohen was a weak motherfucker. He allowed Orangina to make his daughter feel a sort of way. Okay. But I will say I did watch a little. I never really watched Michael Cohen when he was on there like that. I probably watched like one episode when he was on there. But if anybody knows Orangina, Michael Cohen does. Worship of religion. These people, it's disrespectful and it's personally affecting these people going about their worship of religion. Listen, aren't they running up in people's churches? You know, they're running up in people's churches too. It's like, you know, just don't bother us in our white church. That's not how life works. That's just not how life works. Like, you can't throw stones when you living in a glass house. That's just the reality of the situation. Don't be trying to throw stones when you living in a grass house. Everybody is affected by what the insanity that's going on. And I guess that might be what I was talking a little bit about before. Trying to pretend like you're not going to be affected by the foolishness that you voted for is fucking delusional. Okay? Is delusional to think that other people, that things are going to affect everybody else, but like your shit is fine, your church is fine, your neighborhood is fine, your whatever is fine. That's not going to be the reality of how this shit goes down. All right, we'll see what happens. She said Europe can't fight the US. The world is going to fight the US. You missing it. You know what a world, did you go pay attention to school? And did you pay attention in school back in the day? Or you just telling me again what you heard and what you think because, you know, white power. You know they white too, right? I'm just saying, you know they white too, right? I'm just, you know they white too, right? Right? I get it. We do have the best military in the world and all of this stuff. But if the militaries clock up, How do you think that shit gonna go down? You also have to remember that's another reason why they're trying to go after Greenland, right? Because you could spend $1 billion trillion on the military, right? Yeah, you can put the money towards it. But like, where are you getting the stuff to make the bombs, the guns, I mean the bullets, where is that natural resource coming from? That is one of the reasons they want to take over Greenland, because they can't just rate the other countries they used to rate for these materials. Like, you could keep shooting guns, and after a while, you're going to run out of bullets. We're going to run out of bullets. We're going to run out of shit when everybody else still have access to the minerals, the whatever it takes to make the things that we'll eventually run out of. She said, we have no allies. There's no captain savior to help the U.S. Yeah, we have absolutely no allies. None. No, we have Israel, but we fund them. Everything that they have came from us. So literally, everybody, if everybody on this fucking planet, I know a lot of y'all ain't never been nowhere, ain't never done nothing, but this planet is kind of big. And the United States is kind of small in comparison to the size of other places, the amount of things other people have, the amount of technology other people have created. We are at a place where our advancement is, okay, so a country's advancement, this is just common, this is history, this is common sense. A country's advancement is stunted in times like this, right? Because you're not putting people who are actually capable in positions to create, right? To create things, to come up with new ideas, to build. We spoke a couple of months ago, like when the whole things were happening with Harvard and them. And I just saw recently this weekend that China, a university in China, has overtaken the spot from Harvard, right? And why is that? When all of that shit was happening, I know we did a video on that a couple months ago, and you know, messing with the IVs and all of this shit, because a lot of people were just too stupid to get in there, whatever, and so they were mad, trying to send their mediocre children to play with the big dogs. When they did that, when Orangina did that and was, you know, trying to run up in schools and trying to kidnap the kids and all of this shit. And I remember one kid had to fucking escape to Canada. It was a whole thing. When they did that, not even 2 days later, Asia, schools in Asia, schools in Russia, schools in Europe, opened up more spots, literally opened up spots for kids, for the top that are here, for the top that might have been coming here to, again, create, right? We cannot, yes, we're America, we're the best, all of this shit, yes, because we were bringing in, if we weren't, we were taking our homegrown best and putting them in position. We were bringing in the best and putting them in position to create. And when you don't have anybody here to create, and they're all going to Asia, to Europe, whether they're from Asia, whether we were bringing in the best of the best all over the planet, and we're not doing that anymore. And even our best are leaving. Even our best are up out of here. I believe it was schools in China, Japan, Europe. They opened hundreds of extra spots in less than a week to take in, to ingest that talent. America's export, y'all still talking about coal and shit. America's #1 export for generations has been our people. The top of the top. The people that went across the globe. Just like the, people talk about the immigrants, they come here, they make money, they send it back home. This is the same thing that we were doing, but we were bringing back home millions and billions of dollars. That's not happening like it was anymore. Because we no longer are the world's shopping market for the most educated and innovative children. They took it. So yes, we got weapons. Absolutely. We got the best military in the world. Abso-fucking-lutely. Absolutely. And a part of having all of that is off the backs of the best and the brightest that we grew here and fostered their education properly. Not this weird ass shit y'all trying to have the Ivy Leagues do now. So they can turn around and come up with ideas and be innovative. Those innovations are now in other countries. And who's to say that a Russia or a China, a Japan, who's to say that they don't have the person who would have came here to go to MIT or would have came here to go to Caltech or whatever and create the next bombastic, simply fantastic military advancements. That they're not over there now creating those things in these other countries. Someone said they're glad they're no longer in the military. Who are these tons of allies? If you watch Fox News only, we can't have this conversation. If you watch Fox News only, we can't have this conversation. We can't have this conversation because this is what I'm talking about. You think you people who are uninformed, don't know anything about the world or anything, actually understands what's going on. I'm a New Yorker. We told y'all over a decade ago that Orangina is just a good salesman. Every fucking business crashed. We are basically a business and we are crashing and you don't even see it because you watch Fox News. How? I keep asking that. Who the fuck bankrupts? Fine. You want to say, all the other bankruptcies. Oh, you got excuses for it. Cool, whatever. Who bankrupts a casino? And then putting someone who bankrolled a casino in charge of a country and thinking you're not going to get bankrupt as a country. It's a lot more dangerous. Because if you lose a casino, some people lose their jobs. Somebody else might buy the building, might buy the hotel, whatever. It might be saved under somebody. This casino that we call the United States of America, if it goes bankrupt, if it goes the way of all of the Orangina businesses, you really think we can bounce back? Someone said, I live down the street from this. I've never, she said, never seen so many white people protesting ever. Every time I go loud, those are caps. I'm just being, y'all know I'm extra. Someone said they think it's safe to say that the devil done a good job at deceiving the whole world. Well, the whole world isn't deceived. The whole world is not deceived. It's it's the population of the people that were kicked out of Europe back in the day. The whole world is not deceived. The rest of them, they know. They know. Who is this? Hey, Storm Crow. I like that name. If the people only knew how many ways Orangina have betrayed them behind their backs, like hiding 21 trillion, it was stolen through the Department of Defense and the Department of Treasury. Child, I don't know. She said they've been stealing our. I was saying this too, like everything, like y'all, the farmlands are owned by JD Vance is crazy. Can you imagine? Even if, okay, let's not even talk about Obama or Biden. Let's not even talk about them. Could you imagine George Bush doing this shit? What? It's crazy. She said, what? They will. She said he was almost berating her. You talking about low key? You talking about what Don Lemon said to Nicki Minaj? He did. He drug her. And if he wasn't so damn classy, he would have went further, as he should. This is where we are. This is where we are. They could stand up and say shit with their chest. And y'all know I'm a firm believer. And you gonna stand on business. Let's stand on business. Orangina ain't do nothing but pull a New Yorker on y'all, and y'all too stupid to say. We say shit. We all say shit. You gotta stand on business. His shit is deplorable. His shit is deplorable, but him standing on business and saying the deplorable shit, these people need to stand on business. And that's why I like the Don Lemons and the Joy Reids and everybody who got fired and now picking up the reins, and Jim Acosta's or whatever, and now picking up the reins over here on YouTube and not giving a fuck about nothing. Because at the end of the day, they was losing their shit on fucking Fox, just doing whatever fuck they want to. And they done turned the newscaster into the fucking director of the Department of War. So what the fuck? Being decent for what? Not calling people what it is, deplorable and disgusting for what? I told y'all, and I say it again, and I say it all the time. She should have never apologized for calling y'all hoes deplorable, because you was. Maybe she would have shamed you the first time. You'd have had some common sense. Maybe to court yourself before you fell into the foolishness. Maybe to court yourself. Maybe to question yourself. Maybe you would have used the critical thinking skills that you had before you lost it. The Pedialytes. Greenland has an immense amount of natural resources. And we're not talking about crops. Oh my God. This is what I be talking about. If you didn't at least do halfway decent in school, Stay out of the chat. You can cuss me out. Matter of fact, y'all can, if you didn't do halfway decent in school, cuss me out. If you just need to comment, cuss me out. Do some weird shit like that. But don't tell me facts that you don't have no idea about. Don't do it. Because then I can't take you seriously. Someone asked if I thought it would be better to have Russia and China continue stripping fish and resources. They can only do that because you put the man who in charge. Are you dumb? You can say what you want about Biden and being old and senile, and y'all literally put the old senile man up in there. Are you stupid? Like for real. Russia and China are popping now because you put someone who does not know how to run a business, let alone a country, in charge. Create tariffs to the point where we lost gas, to the point where we got to go attack Venezuela and kidnap presidents to get gas. China and them are winning because of the effects, cause and effect of what we have done. I've allowed to do. Not we. I didn't vote for this. What y'all did. China, they winning. I am really taken aback. We're not a superpower anymore. We used to be, and you cannot put a somebody like that, anybody who does not in charge of a superpower doing the shit that he was doing, and think we're going to stay a superpower. They are working together. Canada is working with them. They are free trading. They are making moves and doing things. While we out here as consumers are paying fucking tariffs so Trump can fucking buy a yacht or something. I say this every once in a while, especially when I make videos like this. I'm going to say it because some of y'all in the chat, and I know y'all going to be like, DEI, no DEI here. I have a whole degree in international trade, a whole one. I got a couple. Don't let my hair is drying. Okay. Don't let the hair tie and a thing fool you. I know what I'm talking about. You're talking about what's not in Greenland. Y'all didn't even know that we paid the tariffs. We keep taking these L's. We're not a superpower, and you've made China the superpower of the world. You did that. So don't ask me if I would be happy. You're happy with that because those are the decisions that y'all made. I'm old enough to remember when the Cold War was happening when I was a little girl and having to sit underneath the fucking desk table like the desk was going to save us from fucking bombs or something. But I'm old enough to remember that. Maybe you might not be. Maybe you might be in your 30s and you weren't alive for that. I was. When it was a USSR, I was alive for that. They've been working so hard for the last 40 years to try to keep Russia under, to try to keep Russia tame. The world. Don't get me wrong. It's effed up. As like I said, as an American, I comprehend why they, why this whole everything happening with Russia and China is like, why the fuck they work so hard to try to keep us up here and everybody else down there. And you just got fooled into creating a situation where now we at this point, but we third world country in this bitch up right now. Superpower. They're about to have paratroopers jumping out 15,000, jumping out of planes in Minneapolis, like we would normally do in third world countries. We are the third world country now. It wasn't my choice or my vote to make us a third world country because, well, I'm home. That wasn't my choice. That wasn't, no. If I would like for, y'all did that. The U.S. used to be the best country in the world. It's not no more. That's somebody's comment. It's not no more. It's not. And that's cool. That's what y'all wanted, I guess. People gonna start fucking running up our fucking shores like we did fucking Venezuela. And then what? You think because you in the middle America, you gonna be saved? Hell no. They gonna start sending paratroopers down in y'all fucking suburbs. Back down in fucking Nebraska. What you gonna do? All right, y'all. I'm gonna be up out of here. I have a meeting with someone from my kid in a few. So I'm gonna be out of here. I will be up here I did my hair, so I'm prepared for tomorrow. Okay, I don't have to leave my house till around 4:30. So we will be doing our noon live tomorrow. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And as always, I hope you live your life like it's golden because there's no other way to live it.